As Donald Trump arrived to the courthouse in Manhattan for his criminal trial, where a contempt hearing was held in the morning, Donald Trump was whining and complaining that there were not protesters showing up on his behalf. In fact, there was really no supporters on his behalf anywhere to be seen, and Donald Trump has been consistently calling for protesters to show up, and so he also lied. I'll show you this in the statement that he made to the press, where he said that the protesters want to be there, but because of the police barricades, they can't get close to the courtroom or the courthouse. Let me show you what Donald Trump said, and then let me show you actual footage to show what Donald Trump said is false. And then let me show you Donald Trump's dangerous attempts to try to stir up protests around the courthouse, yet nobody is showing up. So this was Donald Trump's very desperate press conference early in the morning. I'm just going to show you a short clip. Play this clip.
And again, what's going on is a disgrace. Now, it's interesting outside for great Americans, people that want to come down and they want to protest at the court and they want to protest peacefully. We have more police presence here than anyone's ever seen. For blocks, you can't get near this courthouse. And yet you have nobody up at a college where you have very radical people wanting to rip the colleges down.
As a reporter Vaughn Hilliard says, Trump just claimed that the police have shut down the streets around the courthouse for blocks and that his protesters can't be here. Just not true. There is one pro-Trump person here, and the main street along the courthouse is open to traffic. Let me just show you this video that Vaughn Hilliard posted. Play this clip. And as we said on our MeidasTouch account, it is driving Trump absolutely insane that he has almost no supporters heeding his calls to protest at the court. He is just there by himself, no fans, no family, all alone. And not a single family member of Donald Trump's, not Melania, not Don Jr., not Eric, not Ivanka. Nobody has been there to show their support for Donald Trump. Here's another post, this one from The Good Liars, showing the turnout for Donald Trump today in New York. You can see it right there, that there's maybe quite literally just one person who showed up. And here's the statement that Donald Trump posted yesterday to try to encourage protests for him at the courthouse. He wrote, "Why are Palestinian protesters and even rioters allowed to roam cities, scream, shout, sit, block traffic, enter buildings, not get permits, and basically do whatever they want, including threatening Supreme Court justices right in front of their homes, and yet people who truly love our country and want to make America great again are not allowed to peacefully protest and are rudely and systematically shut down and ushered off to far away holding areas, essentially denying their constitutional rights. America-loving protesters should be allowed to protest at the front steps of the courthouse all over the country, just like it is allowed for those who are destroying our country on the radical left. A two-tiered system of justice, free speech, and assembly has been chilled for USA supporters. Go out and, this is his command, go out and peacefully protest. Rally behind MAGA. Save our country. The only thing you have to fear is fear itself." And he puts all of that in caps. And the bottom line is, no one's blocked from protesting in front of the courthouse. Just nobody is showing up to support you. Nobody cares about you in a way where they're going to show up to show you support as a protester. It just ain't happening. And y'all will recall that about a year ago, I think it was more like it was the second week of April or so, where Donald Trump was arraigned in the Manhattan District Attorney, in the Manhattan Courthouse by the Manhattan District Attorney's office. And what did Donald Trump do? He also called for people to show up back then in 2023. Do you remember that? Well, here was the sketch of Donald Trump from his arraignment right there. This was a year ago where he tried to do the same thing. And I remember covering this on the MeidasTouch network that we said, well, at least one protester showed up. So there's that. And I forget if this protester or whoever, this MAGA supporter, if this was really a MAGA supporter or if this was just somebody like doing a prank. But this was like the only person who showed up last year when Donald Trump had his arraignment in this case. Same thing. Nobody cares about you to support you this way. No one's protesting in front of the courthouse for your conduct in falsifying business records so you can make hush money payments to a porn star who you cheated on your wife with when she gave birth while you were cheating on your other woman, Karen McDougal, who you were cheating on your wife with as well, who you also paid hush money payments. It's not exactly a rallying call that Americans are excited about. But this was from a year ago. You remember this?
We should throw the district attorney in Guantanamo Bay.
And you may remember as well from that year ago, Marjorie Taylor Greene showed up though, and it was just like all press and Marjorie Taylor Greene, and including part of the press was Marjorie Taylor Greene's boyfriend, Brian Glenn. And you remember as she was showing up, she was using that line where she's like, Donald Trump today is joining the ranks of Nelson Mandela and Jesus. Remember when she said that? That was a year ago where nobody showed up but Marjorie Taylor Greene. Here, play this clip.
President Trump is joining some of the most incredible people in history being arrested today. Nelson Mandela was arrested, served time in prison. Jesus was arrested and murdered by the Roman government. There have been many people throughout history that have been arrested and persecuted by radical, corrupt governments. And it's beginning today in New York City. And I just can't believe it's happening, but I'll always support him. He's done nothing wrong.
And just so you remember, because today was the contempt hearing against Donald Trump in the morning where Justice Merchan told Donald Trump's lawyers, you're losing all credibility before me. As Donald Trump's lawyer said, look, Trump's trying so hard to comply with the gag order. He's trying so hard. And Justice Merchan said, just stop it. You're losing all credibility. And then Donald Trump's lawyer was like, well, look, it's no problem if Donald Trump just reposts other people's news articles. What's wrong with that? And Justice Merchan goes, first of all, he's manipulating the news articles and he's changing the language of the news articles that he's posting. You're aware of that, right? To which Donald Trump's lawyer, Todd Blanche, had to admit it. And then the judge is like, can you find me any case law at all that says that when you post other people's things and direct it at witnesses, that's not a violation of a gag order? To which Donald Trump's lawyer couldn't. But you remember a year ago who Donald Trump's lawyer was, who quit the team, who quit the legal team, right? You had Joe Tacopina right there, Taki Tacopina. And at that time, remember, Donald Trump posted the photo of himself holding a baseball bat next to a photo of Alvin Bragg. And remember when Tacopina, who's now quit, he said like, he's had a moral reckoning or something. He can no longer work for Donald Trump. Words to that effect. Here was Tacopina from a year ago saying that Trump wasn't swinging a baseball bat at anyone's head. This was him showing off an American-made baseball bat. Here, play this clip.
That includes the witnesses for the people who are talking just as much.
But it also includes the former president swinging a baseball bat at the head of the Manhattan DA.
Well, I don't know where you got that, because if
that was a tweet sent out by the former president.
No, it wasn't. And first of all, that picture was not him swinging a baseball bat. I mean, if you want to distort the facts, go right ahead. I want to address that. Yes, it is. He wasn't swinging a baseball bat at anyone's head. That was a picture of him showing off an American-made bat. But someone else put a picture of the district attorney next to him, and in an article posted that. That's not his article. It's not his photos.
Not using language that
and Taki Tacopina, good for you at least for getting off this case. Shame on you for what you said back then, but at least you got off this case. Now, here's what we're hearing about Donald Trump in the courtroom after he gave that press conference. Trump was seated by himself, looking fatigued and with his eyes closed while he waits for the start of the proceedings. It was also described as, by Adam Klasfeld, Trump flinches a bit the moment the photojournalist pool sets up in front of him for their daily photos. The session, as usual, is brief, and they're led out to the courtroom. Yesterday, he was described by Susan Craig as falling asleep and by Olivia Nuzzi as looking like a trout, that Trump is tilting his head dramatically and making trout-like movements with his mouth as he listens to Judge Merchan. The contempt hearing did not go well for Donald Trump. Justice Merchan continued to grill Donald Trump's lawyers, telling them they have zero credibility at all. I'll do a more fulsome hot take on the contempt hearing, but just wanted to share for you right now, nobody showing up to Donald Trump's press conferences, nobody showing up there. None of his supporters are there. Nobody cares about him to help him. His family's not there. It's fairly humiliating and embarrassing for him. Hit subscribe. We're on our way to 3 million subscribers thanks to your support. Check us out as well at patreon.com/MeidasTouch.
Enough! Send him to the big house, not the White House. Get the new exclusive tees, mugs, and stickers right now at store.MeidasTouch.com. That's store.MeidasTouch.com.